Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Jim Jordan shuts down a whiny Jasmine Crockett who once again has proof positive that she absolutely has no idea what she's talking about. Let's dive in.
Here we go again, talking about Biden, and more Biden. Today is nothing more than a dog and pony show for Republicans to avoid facing the American people for their trash policies that are killing the economy and our democracy. Despite Republicans' claim of backing the blue and being the party of law and order, we're here today because Republicans are willing to throw our country's top law enforcement agents under the bus to appease Trump and execute his political vengeance. I want to be very clear. My concerns aren't with career agents, the men and women dedicating their lives to protect our country and communities. It's with the irresponsible leadership and reckless decisions coming from Patel, Trump, and DOJ staff within the FBI. Our Bureau needs resources to do its job effectively. What it doesn't need is 20-something-year-old DOJ bags reviewing materials without having undergone proper vetting and clearance. The American people have a right to be worried, but these worries shouldn't be based on Republican baseless conspiracy theories. Our country is already on a dangerous path, pushing closer to causing irreparable harm. Republican members need to wake up and put Trump loyalties aside to engage in real oversight of the current FBI before it's too late.
I'm now going to recognize the chairman of the full committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The previous speaker talked about facts. Here's one fact I know. It's night and day dealing with the Bondi Patel Justice Department versus the Garland Ray Justice Department. Under the Pam Bondi as Attorney General, the Foreign Influence Task Force, that group that was responsible for censoring Americans, has been disbanded. The school board's memorandum has been rescinded. We sent 7 subpoenas to Kash Patel 5 weeks ago. The response we've gotten is unbelievable compared to what we got under the previous Justice Department. He's actually given us thousands of documents already, new information that we tried to get from Director Wray that he wouldn't give us. We've already received. We'll be talking about some of that. So that is the fact. Complete change from where we were with the previous Justice Department. The previous Justice Department, of course, that couldn't tell us who planted the pipe bombs, who leaked the Dobbs opinion, who put cocaine at the White House. Couldn't tell us answers to those questions, but they had plenty of time to put together the memo to say we're going to investigate moms and dads at a school board meeting, as the chairman pointed out. They put together a memorandum. We've now learned it wasn't just in the Richmond field office, but in other field offices where they were equating pro-life Catholics to extremists. We know they raided the president's home. We know they retaliated against whistleblowers. They even put together, the previous speaker talked about politics. Politics, the FBI created a questionnaire where they asked their employees about other employees who were maybe giving information to us as whistleblowers. Did that person support Trump? That is as political as you can get. So the real thing here is it's literally night and day, the difference between the kind of information that we're able to receive, the help that we're getting, and the focus on going after traditional bad guys, not having half your agents and half your budgets focused on surveilling the American people. Let's go get the traditional bad guys. That's what Kash Patel is doing at the FBI, getting the FBI back to the mission they've had before, which I know some of our witnesses who served there are going to talk about. So I thank them.
And a thank you too, Jim. Thank you for basically holding your tongue while having to work under these ridiculous circumstances as Jasmine Crockett continues to spew out a whole bunch of nonsense. Did you hear that first part of her speech? Oh, we're all talking about Biden. Well, yeah, we are only about, 3-4 months into the Trump presidency. And it's technically been longer than that because nations have been basically treating Joe Biden like he was a lame duck the moment that T dropped out of the race, by the way. And they were right to treat him as such because, let's be honest, that dude's brains is mashed potatoes at this point. It is a sad thing to see that we, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to continue to prop this man up when he needs to quite literally be put out to pasture. But that's a little bit water under the bridge, except for what Jim Jordan keeps on bringing up. The whole reason that we're looking back at the Biden administration and saying that things are so much better is because under the Trump administration, under Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, they're actually getting information going in back and forth. They're working in tandem, and they're working with Congress. That did not happen under the Christoph Wade, Merrick Garland part of the administration under Joe Biden, under that leadership, because those guys did not want to play ball with Congress. They wanted to protect the FBI and their own Department of Justice more than they cared about making sure that the American people actually know what's going on. The scandals under the Biden administration should have been much, much bigger. Because putting American Catholics on a watch list because they happen to be anti-abortion, putting parents who go to school board meetings on a watch list because they're not happy with their kid coming on one day and asking, what is a transgender? This is not something that should have been happening in American schools, and the parents were the ones being punished for this. Make that make sense. Jasmine Crockett certainly can't, because she out here, for some reason, is trying to carry water for the Biden administration by deflecting away from it. Instead, talking about the trash policies of the current Republican-style government. I'm sorry, I don't see them. Getting rid of hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud, waste, and abuse. This is the Government Oversight Committee, Jasmine. And you don't think that's a good idea? That's a beyond bless your heart kind of moment. But when it comes to her saying dumb things, let's be real here. She's got a whole host of and litany of things that she talks about nonstop, and she's just getting flack for it over and over and over again. And the Democrats, for some reason, think that she's going to be the voice of the future. Her star is rising faster than AOC's is at this point, and somehow the IQ is a little bit smaller. So I wonder if there's a correlation there. But when it comes to Jasmine Crockett, there is enough pushback going against her, even amongst her own party, because again, the Democrats are hemorrhaging male voters. They're hemorrhaging minority voters. They're hemorrhaging labor voters that used to vote with the Democrats every single time. Now they're voting with Trump. Okay? It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in 2028. But when you act like this, when you say these asinine things, you end up wrecking your own ambitions, and then you end up hurting your own party, which you don't get away in the way of your opponent when they're making a mistake here. And the backlash that she has gotten, I think this is the best line that I have seen yet to deal with Jasmine Crockett. And this comes from someone in the White House. Crockett and her followers in the Democrat Party are simply all hammer and no nail. When she's leading the Democrats in oversight, that's when you know the party is in shambles. Her constituents should doge her in the next election, Field said in a statement provided to Fox News by the White House. This dude apparently is a spokesman for him. So, yeah, that might be the best line I have ever seen about someone like Jasmine Crockett. This is the best the Democrats can do right now because they have been misled by their own algorithms. They have been getting positive feedback over and over and over again about how they need to fight back against Trump. And it's super feminized, it is super weird, and ultimately it's so cringy that even your own side ends up laughing at you. And then you get statements like this. Y'all, it might be the Democrat frontrunner in 2028. Now, I know that's an eternity in politics. We haven't even gotten to midterms yet. But it's interesting to note that Democrats are already starting to look past midterms. They're already starting to look to 2028. And in Jasmine's statement here, they're doing their best to deflect from reality, and that is they have misled the American people when they're in office. Then they have failed to take any action against things that, would be good basic stewardship of your money, but in their case, they get to say, oh, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's just a drop in the bucket, where you're just trying to deflect from the real problems. Well, the real problem is that we still have an illegal immigration problem, okay? That's still an issue in Democrat-run cities and Republican areas across the nation. That's something that's so bipartisan that, of course, Donald Trump ran on it and won, but Jasmine Crockett doesn't understand this, and there's even this incredibly insane idea that's starting to take shape on the left, and Jasmine Crockett tried to bring it up here, is that, oh, well, maybe the illegal immigrants were the reason everything was so cheap. Yeah, that's part of the problem. paying slave labor wages isn't exactly a good idea, particularly when it comes from, the Democrat Party, the party literally known for starting a war over the issue of slavery. But that's a whole lot of history to unpack. My name is Brian. Let me know what you think about Jasmine Crockett down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.